All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, we're live now. So far we have John and Jeebus. Whoops.
Howdy.
Oh,
How's everyone week been?
not too bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I keep forgetting to mute that the live tab. So, all right. Yeah. So I didn't have. So what's his name? Florida. Uh, we haven't seen hide or hair from him.
Well,
So
this is my surprise.
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he may have a legitimate reason, but
He went.
yeah, he's disappeared.
He went the way of a pot. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I think someone had mentioned that maybe he's gotten a different alt, and he's been kind of using that, but I'm not sure.
So I haven't noticed any. There's nobody that's been posting that would have the same kind of pattern. So if he is using an alt, then he's going to an awful lot of trouble to
What?
mask it, to mask his speech patterns.
I did see one person who was kind of posting Bible verses, sort of like Florida, but there weren't that many for me to kind of figure out. So, but anyway, so that's why we don't have that. And I was kind of thinking about what we should discuss, and that whole Kim's Land thing, when it kind of came up, it kind of came up out of the blue, because I'm not sure why she, and I think it's a she, kind of came in on the thread like that. Oh, here's Blarg. Hello,
G'day.
Blarg.
Larg,
Howdy all.
how's it going, man?
Not too bad.
So Super Sunday put up a chat.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So Blarg, what we're going to do is we'll look at the post that I had put up that got a weird response from one of the atheists there. So I had put up this post just to kind of figure out, is there anyone out there who would actually back up NEPy or Pokey? So I was actually being genuine about this.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of okay, and people sort of responded. And then John Clark, you said he's a complete coward. And then as this is going on, this person, Kimsland, comes in and says, I don't understand your win-loss philosophy. Is this how you guide people with education? I read your post. I don't think attacking people as a coward is a way to begin a civilized argument. It sounds as though you have the answer, which means you are providing the burden of proof. How does that work when conversing with theists? Do you win? So I'm not sure where she got that. And it looks like, kind of during the rest of the conversation, that she thought that I was calling out all theists.
Yeah, or
So
a brand new person. So if it's a brand new person, that maybe explain it. So if you just go and call some rando newbie, start calling them names, that's not going to work real well. Right. But yeah, it's not like anything you could say to NEPy at this point in time is going to change the situation.
And I've called him coward plenty of times in other threads.
So I don't want to come across as kind of committing the no true Scotsman fallacy here, but are we sure that Kimsland is an atheist and not just a theist in sheep's clothing?
I don't think so. So the reason why I think it's a she is because I thought there was she called in once, and I'm not sure on which show, and it's I think it was her, because I vaguely remember that handle in the live chats.
Right.
but I'm not 100% sure.
Well,
But
so
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to go on and say, I was just trying to, figure out, okay, what did you read that made you, kind of get upset like that?
Sure.
So
And at one point, even I asked, so what is your process? Like, what do you believe? And how do you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I told her to, and this was kind of got me a little puzzled, because when I said, okay, why don't you go look? And she said, I don't need to read elsewhere as you have created a new thread. I get to respond to this unique thread as that's how replies work. And then, she agrees that I don't call everyone coward, but it's, she's kind of objecting to how I'm doing it. And she she just kind of goes a little bit, on the attack, saying, are you an emotional person? It looks like your emotions have taken over the best of you. Although you can't, nothing I wrote would, have that indication.
Sure.
And then she says, maybe I can help you. And this comes up, she wants to be kind of be the person who's just, doing or mediating this, I guess.
Yes.
And so without reading elsewhere, what specifically is the issue you are having? I have conversed with you. I have conversed with tens of thousands of theists. So, she's an expert here. And so when she said that, I basically said, okay, well, if you don't want to look elsewhere, just respond to the thread, which is, are you going to defend NEPy or not? But she obviously doesn't know who NEPy is, right? She just kind of like stepped in.
How could she not know?
That is true.
I can kind of remember her replying to him at least once.
Oh, okay.
But perhaps is unaware of the nickname because he's never actually had a NEPy as a handle.
Right. That's a good point. But that might be the case.
Yeah, I don't know. I suspect it's a little bit like come in on the wrong-footed, not understanding what's going on, and then couldn't climb down off the high horse. That happens. People have egos, and to say you're wrong takes a hit to the ego. So maybe that's why she kept doubling down.
So Super Sunday is asking, are we sure that Kim isn't one of NEPy's many socks? I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah, the posting pattern is not consistent with NEPy. There's a little bit of the bragging nature of I've spoken with tens of thousands of theists has that flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's more Kim's comments are more geared towards trying to actually debunk the argument from a presupposition that isn't there, whereas NEPy is just a pigeon shitting on the checkerboard.
Yeah. But I think Blarg is right that, she probably didn't connect NEPy with, all the other alts that NEPy actually posts on. And I think that might explain what Jibo said, that she actually responded to NEPy's post.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets a little out of control, where, I said, I'm asking, actually, I missed this part. So I had said, okay, none of your questions apply to the OP. And she says, the OP is you in this thread, because she can only, I guess the only OP that she understands is original poster, not original post. So it's about cowardness, and you are asking for atheists or theists to respond. We must stay on topic. It is an act of proper forum etiquette. So that one also got me. So she's like kind of like a gatekeeper.
Yeah. Definitely a gatekeeper vibe.
Yeah, it's turning out that way. So I said, I'm just asking in regard to one individual, not all theists. Please stay on topic. And please try not to become emotional since she accused me of being emotional.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of got her ticked off. Oh boy, here's a snippet from your post. Is there anyone here, atheist or theist too? Are you now against your own words? And this is like, she completely seemed to misunderstand the post, at least at the beginning. Let's see. Here's another Super Sunday. Did you all see that NEPy's made up quote by Einstein that he is posting over and over to show that Einstein hated atheists? It's totally made up. NEPy is blatantly lying. So I can't believe NEPy would be blatantly lying. Doesn't seem like him, but
No.
actually,
All right.
Well, first of all, he does blatantly lie.
Yeah.
Like that, the precedent for NEPy lying is well established, like outright lying. So the idea of making up a quote by Einstein to try and fallaciously win the point or to win the argument, that's not beneath NEPy at all. That's actually rather consistent with him.
Yep. All right. Oh, what happened? So, okay, Ook's coming on. Ook, can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right. I think maybe you have your camera on.
Hello?
Let's
No?
see.
Yes?
Hello, Ook. Can you hear us?
Hello? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey there.
Yep, we can hear you. But
Cool.
you may have your camera on, even though it's not showing anything.
Ah, yeah.
But it looks
I'm
like
trying
there's
to
a
get the-
feed.
There we go. Hang on.
Yeah, I'll remove you for now until you get that turned off. All right. So this is where I think she just got confused in terms of who the subject of that original post was. So this is where she calls me a liar, and I like going, what is the lie? I'm asking in regard to just one individual, not all theists. And she's saying I'm lying. And okay, I'll put Ook back. All right, Ook, you're back on.
Ha ha ha. It worked.
So she was like very confrontational right from the beginning.
Yeah, I read that. It was weird.
I just think initially she just didn't understand the post, and she just kind of stuck to it. And I said, look at the context. And when you so quickly call me a liar, it seems your emotions have gotten the best of you. Or maybe you're just an emotional person, because I'm not. And this is the whole kind of this social justice warrior kind of thing. Maybe I can help you. What is the concern you have exactly? Ask me the question. Oh, and I don't. So this one, I didn't respond because I'm not sure what I feel about 69 Eddie having a cop buddy look up this person. But it sounds like he did, and he's a bad boy. So 69 Eddie, if you watch this, can you send me an email at qc@mynes.com? Oh, I think Ook dropped off. A technical problem. Again, please reread the OP. Again, you are the OP. You are the thread starter and makes you the OP. And I ask you a question. So again, she's not understanding what OP means. So Paul comes up. The idea is simply that if someone wants to brag about their debating prowess, they ought not to find excuses to avoid demonstrating, which obviously that's correct. Yeah, just jump in if any of you guys want to say something about any of this. Oh, and this was another one. So when responding to Paul, she's like going, well, the OP seems to have run away because I didn't respond for an hour.
So this is why I'm not necessarily convinced that Kim
Uh-huh.
came with honest intentions in the first place. Just the nature of constantly going on attack.
Yep.
It seems to be consistent to me of wanting to not come across as having the high ground, but wanting to tear down everyone else.
Or at least me.
Well, yeah, or at least you. Well, it does, to a smaller extent, does the same thing to me as well.
Okay.
When I get involved, Kimsland seems to be operating on the idea of credibility as a zero-sum game. That credibility to Kim can only come by tearing others down, which is not exclusively something that it takes place in theist communication in the thread, but is very is very dominant amongst the theists and not as likely to happen amongst the atheists in the comment section. And so again, I want to be very clear that I'm trying to avoid doing the no true Scotsman fallacy. But that's what leads me to wonder, is Kim false flagging as an atheist, trying to discredit everyone else who identifies as atheist?
No, look, Kim's been around for quite some time and has been sort of a stalwart. There's no sort of flags there. I'd put it. I'd go with the adage, or the old adage about never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence.
Okay.
Just got it wrong and couldn't get down off the high horse, and was just on the warpath in this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Lark, do you remember her calling in to one of the shows?
No, I can't say I do.
Okay. All right.
I recall maybe 2.5 years ago, Kim did actually call in.
Okay.
But she seems, I think it's just moods. She has a good day. She has a bad. She's had a go at me before, but we sorted it out. And yeah, I think sometimes she gets the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah. Well, so on that, so I respond and say, oh, I was being a little sarcastic here. Oh, by the way, what I wanted to say was that I did put at the end of this thread, letting her know that we'll be talking about this in the live stream. So I did tell her that she can stop by, but I'm not sure if she's even paying attention at this point. And also, I had mentioned that, that or implied that this was going to be a subject of one of my videos.
Okay.
Well,
all right. So I got, yeah, go ahead.
No one's saying anything bad about it. We're just, she seems okay. Yeah. I don't think you've got anything to worry about there.
All right. So here, I was being a little bit sarcastic and kind of like pointed out that she doesn't seem to be aware of what OP means. So I think in the rest of this response, I make sure I make clear what OP means. For example, when I said read OP, I didn't mean for you to read me. That would be silly. Because in her response, she kept on saying, you silly, or whatever. Okay. And I gave her a heads up that I won't be able to respond immediately in real time. And Josh says, respond with their opinion on one poster. All right. So then I pointed out that when she called me a liar, that's an ad hominem fallacy because she didn't actually respond to the argument. She just called me a liar. Okay. And she's talking about, I think she's kind of sort of figured out that maybe I think she's starting to figure out that maybe she's on the wrong. So she's not directly addressing the issues, but just saying, it just commented, well, with all that writing, you could have merely asked me a question. Are you without any need to gain further knowledge? This is it. You are at the maximum height of knowledge for right now. Yeah, it still seems to be a little attacky there. And responding to Josh, I can't respond with someone else's opinion. Your post didn't make sense. Try a different question. And I can't remember what Josh was asking about here. Oh, I think he was just asking her to defend NEPy. All right, here's yours, John.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I remember this little thread as well, because you're trying to like get her to, tell how she figures out. Oh, it's because like earlier she said that her purpose was to, I missed that. She said at some point that her purpose was to
debunk or to deconstruct other people's beliefs.
Oh no, sorry, that's it. Oh yeah, here it is. 26980. I endeavor to show people they are unjustified in their beliefs.
Yes.
So
and that's what I was responding to.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they're unjustified, why don't you tell us how you justify it?
Yeah. It's like, okay, so if everybody is unjustified in their beliefs, how are you justified in yours? What's your process? I just never got an answer on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's because if she didn't understand the question or whether she didn't have one,
Well, take a look at the response, because she does respond to me.
Okay, so I mean, this is how she silly,
right? And so at this point, I'm like, okay, you're trying to get me wound up, which that's not going to work. Which okay, fine. But
yeah, I mean, like throughout the whole thing, she just seemed to be kind of a disingenuous interlocutor.
Yeah. Now you guys say that you've seen Kim. She's genuine as far as presenting as an atheist, which okay, I take that at face value, but that doesn't change the fact that she definitely came across as disingenuous, at least in the exchange with me. QC, I'll let you determine how genuine she was in her exchange with you. But you'll see later on, as I post, like, no, I'm asking you about and your beliefs and what is your process. And just she keeps engaging in dodge and deflect. There we go. Red herring fallacy to dodge and deflect. I asked you what your process is to justify your beliefs. And so are you saying that you have no core? The rest of that question is: are you saying that you have no core values or no core beliefs? No, and that was merely a common psychological ploy. So that's why I said it seems like you're more interested in playing games than you are in actually having a real conversation.
Yeah, that goes up to it was when she had said that I had left or run away.
Right.
So her response to that was, I guess Paul had said, I failed to see how my responding has anything to do with your claim that QC had run away. And her response to that was merely a common psychological ploy to get him back blazing. I still feel he'll become unattached. Only time will tell.
Yeah, there's the evidence for what I was saying, that she didn't catch who this NEPy is, didn't connect it with the troll that posts hundreds and hundreds and hundreds per video, and I still feel he'll come back unattached, as if thinking this is a new person you're attacking, and just go, I miss the fact it's a at least 60, approaching 70 accounts now troll.
But the thing is, if she's been if she's been reading the comments, she would have heard someone refer to him as NEPy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, who was it that said a minute ago, don't attribute to malice what can be explained with incompetence? It is plausible. It's unlikely, but it is plausible that if somebody just never makes the connection, that they might not necessarily draw that conclusion.
Okay, so Jason said, I've seen this Kim posting quite a bit a couple years ago. Always seem to be trying really hard to walk the neutral road on everything. And then I thoroughly debunked something she said, and she stopped responding to me altogether. So I guess she'll stop responding to me altogether as well. Okay, so here, she pretty much admits, oh, I have no idea who this NEPy is. And that was my first response to her. Why don't you go take a look at the comments before, coming in? Josh Sheridan. That's because Neverending Party is a coward, and what you think OP feels is irrelevant. So her response to that, he is? What did he do? Maybe I can respond to QC's last question to him. So she wants to kind of intervene and teach NEPy a lesson. And here's your comment, John, if you want to talk to that.
Sure, yeah. The red herring fallacy. I asked you what your process is to justify your beliefs. So I ask a direct question and again, just get a complete red herring, just to dodge and deflect, rather than responding. And so even if we take the most charitable of interpretations, that somehow the question was misinterpreted, now I have said outright, you want to say that you want to show how people are unjustified in their beliefs. Cool. What's your process to justify your beliefs? Are you saying that you have no core beliefs? Or I don't remember if I said core beliefs, core values, but the rest of that comment there asks the question.
I don't know why it's not showing up. There's usually a more button. But
it's merely a psychological ploy to get him to come back blazing. And this is where I say it seems like you're more interested in playing games than you are in an actual honest conversation. Or I don't remember if I said more honest conversation, more intellectual conversation. But this is where I point out that, okay, it looks like you're just here to play games.
Yeah,
you're not actually here to do what you claim to be doing.
Yeah, it was a bad look for her when she said that, that she's just essentially playing games. She pretty much admitted it. So
right. So at that point, this is where when I'm posting questions like this, or when I make statements like that, this is kind of my soft way of introducing the idea that the person is being at best dishonest and at worst outright being a liar about their intention. So that's when I start seeding that groundwork to start bringing up those points. And again, this is me saying, this is what it seems like you're doing. Do you want to respond to this? But of course,
yeah, I don't think she does. But
QC,
yeah,
have you got the comments section sorted by newest?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because
is something not showing up?
Oh, just that bit that got cut out and wasn't giving you the option of showing more. And I wasn't sure whether you were seeing all of the, because there should be 67 replies in this thread. If you're seeing the full thread,
I think it's just because it's an artifact of me sharing, maybe, because it's not really like it's just like cutting off some words, for example, or it could be because I was more because I was zooming out. So let me see if that happens.
Well, I can see the rest of that post that that John had that. It doesn't show more because there's it just shows the whole post. It's just like the other half of the sentence.
Yeah, so now it shows up. Yeah, Like it was because how much I zoomed in. Whoops. Let me see.
There we go.
Yeah, so because of the zoom, it's not showing. So I'll put it back to a zoom where we can see.
You're showing that from a screenshot, are you, Kui?
I'm sharing the tab, the Chrome tab or Edge tab.
Oh, okay.
But now,
cool.
now it'll show up.
Yeah.
No,
working better.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. Okay, where are we? Oh, okay, we already did this. So, okay, we're looking at this. Yeah, no core beliefs. And then Josh starts talking about NEPy and explains that, which is fine. And then response to John is, I endeavor to show people they are unjustified in their beliefs. What is a process you use to justify your beliefs? I don't understand what this is. Oh, I guess that she's quoting you,
herself and then restating the question rather than addressing the question that I asked and the point that I was making. So this to me just seems like it's more dodge and deflect to never actually address what is your process. How do you?
Or maybe she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't understand the question.
Again, if I'm being very charitable the first time that I ask it, then sure, fine. I mean, I don't agree with that assessment, but even if we do allow for that, I explicitly ask the question outright. What is your process for your beliefs?
It kind of seems
and then
to
she
me like
accuses you. Go ahead.
Right. And so this is actually very similar.
Hold on. I think Jeebus wanted to say something.
I would say it seems like circular logic, where she's saying that the other person's beliefs are what she uses to validate her beliefs.
I don't think she's answering. This is a reason why I think she misunderstood the question. The question, or she says she endeavors to show people they are unjustified in their beliefs. And when the question was, what is the process you use? She's like really answering about the other person's beliefs, right? Not her own beliefs.
Well, she could be saying that her beliefs are beyond question. So she's saying that her beliefs are good, or the only true beliefs.
Yeah, maybe
the argument there is that they're self-evident, which is an argument that DK makes all the time. The friar fallacy.
Yeah, it's a triangle boy.
That was pretty funny. But she goes to accusing you, right? That you are playing the games. So
right, and this is shades of Jim Edith, where you ask them a question, you point out, look, this is the fallacy that you're using, and no, you're the one playing games, and
yeah,
I don't have to explain myself, and it's just that disingenuous, just dishonest way of going about the interaction, and just always trying to be on the attack.
Yeah. So next, this was another funny one. NEPy claims he always wins and no atheist can beat him. I can beat him. Plus, I'll work out if he's an atheist devil's advocate. Again, it's still not showing up here. Oh, wow. I have to zoom even back. Oh, no, even then it's not showing up. That's weird. Okay. Okay, now it shows up, of which I already suspect. So she doesn't even know who NEPy is, but suspects that he's an atheist devil's advocate. Okay.
So again, this kind of
egotist.
Well, it's egotistical, sure, but it also undercuts the argument that maybe Kim doesn't know who NEPy is. So this is where we start. Go ahead.
Not necessarily, because if she's a raging egotist who's convinced they can, do this with anyone in two posts, then yeah.
Well, she's almost like NEPy in that regard, right? I can beat everyone.
Right. Yeah. The anti-NEPy.
Yeah. I would actually like to see her go against NEPy and see how she does.
God. So that's either going to be hysterical or annoying real fast.
Yeah.
I'd pay money to see that. Just grab the popcorn and go to town.
Yeah,
it'd be brilliant.
Just sit back and watch the fireworks.
I mean, neither one is gonna budge, right?
That's right.
All right. So
tell me
Josh
more,
responds, "Good luck."
Yeah.
And Vertical also says, responds to that, "Sure you can. You sound just as useless as NEPy." Okay, so my response to her was that you seem to be under the impression that I didn't ask you any questions, because she was asking me, what is your question? And so since she only wants to look at the OP, the original post, so why doesn't she answer what's on the original post? She doesn't even know who NEPy is, and she's having difficulties understanding the OP, original post. So this is where I just like, you don't even know, you don't seem to understand kind of what the ask was in the original post. Oh, and she didn't respond to this, but if I ask, hey everyone, why is Kim playing games by accusing me of running away as well as calling me a liar? I'm not calling everyone a disingenuous interlocutor. I'm just calling her. But I don't know if she picked up on that. Oh, and this whole getting me all unattached. And she doesn't mean unattached. I think she means unhinged.
Right.
Because I am not unattached, just in case Kim is wondering.
Broke her heart.
All right. Okay. And this is where I mentioned, that I might be using this as a topic of next video. And so these are kind of her last responses, and I didn't understand this. She said, "Don't be utterly ridiculous. Such an immature post. Absolutely none of that was simple question to me. You're the lost plot, or you've lost the plot." I guess she's responding to when I said just answer the original post. I guess that's what she's saying. And that was a ridiculous response. Any idea?
Again, it's not clear what. So when people, even people that are have a different perception of reality, their internal reality is consistent on a specific focal point. So, like for example, NEPy's core mental state is one of dominance. I'm the best, I'm the greatest, and everybody else is stupid and dumb. Kim here seems to be operating on the idea that, again, it's coming across as authority by zero sum. So the only way so for Kim to be an authority figure, first everyone else has to be torn down. Everyone else has to be made lesser. And so that seems to be the pattern that she's been that she was operating in this thread, and will not hold herself to a specific answer when asked that direct question.
Wow. And this is her last response to you.
Yeah.
What evidence do you have? I have beliefs. I'm not sure what that means.
You should stop walls behind. So in other words, it doesn't answer the question, what evidence do you have that that I'm playing games?
By the
And
way,
so
do you think she's from the UK? The use of whilst?
whilst is possible. I would definitely suspect that. Um, so either there's a strong UK influence in the speech formation in the accent of this of the posting. The other possibility is that Kim could just see that use of whilst as a intellectual superlative or an intellectual polisher.
Yeah, it's just an affectation.
Yeah, it's sort of an affectation because the spelling of the words and the cadence does seem to be more North American than necessarily European, but that's not conclusive. There's just not enough there for me to really form an opinion on that.
Yeah.
So
I would suspect it's affectation.
Yeah, I think that's a polisher than it is. It's a polishing word rather than a slang or a vocabulary. Sorry, I'm not articulating this very well. I apologize.
No, I think I get what you're saying. But this is, I think, almost my last response to her, at least during that time. And this is where I just kind of tell her, who NEPy is, and some of the alts that he was using, at least within that, under that video. Oh, my apologies if you thought I was being unattached, and thanks for coming into this thread and derailing it from the original intent. I really was looking for someone to actually stand up for NEPy.
Well,
and this is I
NEPy's
think sometime
NEPy's not
later.
going to do a great job of standing up for NEPy. So
even what is his name? Jaffles can't stand up with NEPy.
Oh yeah. They had a little bit of butting of heads, right?
He's fun.
Yeah, well, that's
what's
an
really
interesting combo.
it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating when NEPy starts throwing haymakers at other theists.
I tell you what,
Wait, it's like the hand that feeds.
I'd be willing to pay $100 to see NEPy and Jaffles, Jacqueline Bond, try and have a conversation.
Both of them are convinced they're the expert.
She actually
Jaffles is he's never even owned a Bible, let alone read one.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to the maximum limit of, I think it was 350 replies when he first posted, and I've got a screenshot of that, and it's unbelievable. The man's insane.
Oh yeah, he's about as loony as it's possible to be. He's absolutely bonkers.
Well, we can say that about a lot of the theists that post, but so there's a surprise at the end, but let's keep going. And Neo kind of jumped in, I think, like a day after. What a completely unnecessary fight you provoked there. And what the hell are you? Okay, and another kind of comment here, which makes me wonder why you are so triggered. Yeah, I mean, I still don't get why she got really all triggered. I guess it's just kind of her misunderstanding. Okay, and that. So she responds to Blarg. Well, if you must know, sheesh, calm down. It's because I feel and this, I actually responded to this because this was kind of bizarre. She's basically saying that this is her real purpose. It seems like she's saying that the atheists are too passive and disingenuous. So she feels that they are deceiving the theist, when in reality, we, as an atheist, go ahead.
The irony of that being that telling you to calm down and stop attacking the theist, and you just go, so you want the OP to be more passive, and what you want to see is this being less passive.
No, I thought I got it the other way. I thought she was saying that the atheists are being too passive, and we need to become more direct.
Yeah, that's right. But
Okay.
she's up you about being too direct.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually say that in the response. Okay, so in reality, we need to be more direct and inform them of their outdated beliefs are morbidly dead wrong using the truth. Yeah, the truth. I've done this before, this kind of like, again, NEPy vibes. The atheist eventually loses control and they come out of their shell. I guess they get provoked to come out of their shell. It's a wonderful thing that all theists should see, okay? Think of it as modern atheism. We aren't being nice anymore. Their beliefs must go. We don't like their beliefs, okay? And to end off how you have been instructed, thank you for your replies. Please call back soon. What a wonderful conversation. So she really enjoyed this thread. We should more of this. So we should have more of these. Some replies are better than others. That was a good reply. Complimenting Blarg. It makes it so much easier when there's good conversation like this. So she categorized this as, or maybe she just talked about Blarg. It's a good conversation. Okay, and John, you responded.
Congratulations, Blarg, you impressed her.
Yes. The irony being, A, I didn't get notification of that, and I hadn't seen that comment until now.
Oh, okay.
And B, if that's the last comment she's made, she A, failed to address anything I had to say, so just went off on a tangent, and also seems to have bailed out of the conversation at the point where she realised who NEPy is.
Yeah.
So, and you go, oh, that one, better not say anything more now because, yeah.
Yeah, but this whole thing, shish, calm down. Basically, you're the one who's unhinged, right?
Right.
According to her.
It's a low grade form of gaslighting. This idea of calm down, stop getting so angry. And again, it comes from my core theory that Kim just kept reinforcing is this idea of the zero authority as zero sum. Kim's whole purpose in this conversation, either consciously or unconsciously, was to position themselves at the expense of others.
And so you tried to kind of, again, attempt to get her to respond to your original question, but obviously she didn't.
Right.
And Ook comes in. So Ook, when did you see this? And what were you thinking when you were going through the thread?
I saw it yesterday, I think, and read through the whole thread going, what the fuck? Because I mean, okay, she comes off to me as she wants to be nice. She wants to walk the middle ground. She doesn't like conflict. But then she goes off on a strange rant, and I just sort of, I can't be bothered with you. But she's definitely, I'd class her as, a true atheist. She doesn't know, but I think she just has I don't know, I don't like to use the word hippie, trippy, love, flower power thing, but yeah, she doesn't impress me.
Yeah,
but
I also got kind of that
enough.
sense. Yeah, I got that sense she's kind of this hippie, trippy kind of thing, at least if she is the one who called in.
Yeah. Oh, new one for you. Has anyone noticed the troll with the handle NSF001-3? He's only been around since the 23rd of September to the last year. But he's a really strange little thing. Something to keep a lookout for if you want to note that down. NSF001-3.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look for the NSF.
Yeah.
National Science Foundation.
What are they doing?
He's let's see, his first post here that I got. There is, if there isn't strong enough evidence to demonstrate God's existence, wouldn't you believe in him?
Huh?
I believe the cat is either alive or Australia's cat. I won't know until the box is open. So far, no one has opened the box marked God. Yeah, he just keep an eye on him because he's he's just weird to my. He sends off a few alarm bells in my head. He's not
all right.
perfect.
So I respond to that previous one. You are a strange bird because I couldn't really understand what you're saying, what she was saying. Your last comment to Blargoman was confusing. It seems like you're saying that you did this on purpose to rile up the atheists to make them come out of their shell, which doesn't seem to correspond to what you were doing. You were taking me, who was already out of my shell, and challenging this one theist, and you were upset that I was being too confrontational. So your last post seemed to be backpedaling once you realized that you were in the wrong. If I'm wrong, please do stop by my live stream today, and we will be talking about this thread. So this was my comment to her. And okay, so I have to refresh this because she actually responded to that. Where is this? Oh, I guess that she only added 4. Did any of you guys see her last response to my comment? Okay, so this will be all new for you guys. It'll be good to get your reactions here. Okay, so is it passive talk between atheists? The single word that brought me to this thread was your use of coward. To hype up atheists was most certainly my motive, even to the level of emotion. So she was trying to hype the atheists up because I used the word coward. I don't get it. You obviously are not aware of this, but atheist comments have been removed as not being positive enough. What? What does that mean? Because it wasn't positive enough?
Same bullshit that you get from the theists. Sometimes comments get deleted or ghosted. And and then go and blame, somebody, the moderators or the and you just go, no, the stupid YouTube algorithm gets upset about random things, and particularly if you want to hold on to a single account and try and stick with that, you accumulate sort of a bad score over time, and it becomes harder and harder to get things posted. It's how it is. Whereas the trolls get around it by just creating a dozen new accounts and everything's fresh.
I wonder if she's not aware that you have to sort by new to be able to see everything. So she probably sees her comments getting ghosted, not deleted, but ghosted. All right. So she claims that her comments are removed and theirs remain. Okay. The smallest violin here. I'm tired of this pitiful new atheism. I'm not sure what that new atheism is. I'm tired of it since it began decades ago. So she's been around a long time. Your thankful approach is not working. My thankful approach? I didn't think that she was, criticizing me for being too thankful of NEPy.
Yeah.
Okay, my approach is to remove theism from public and back to their closets, and you won't be able to stop it with your passive ways any longer. So, so she was responding because I was being too aggressive, right? Or did we, I guess, because all of us are, I think, on the same page. Did we get it wrong by, realizing that she meant that my post was too passive? So, but she liked her own comment.
Sure. She's argued both sides throughout this entire thread.
Yeah.
this, people are. She wants people to come out of their shells, but then goes, "Shush, stop getting so emotional."
There it is,
So
blaming the mods.
Yep. Before the mods revert back to their deceiving others again. I mean, because so the theists are saying that the mods are removing their comments because they're theists, and she's saying the mods are removing her comment because it's not positive enough.
I know for a fact because I sent an email into AXP and said, look, I'm willing to be a moderator for the comments. It's getting too toxic in there. People being called pedophiles, groomers, all that sort of stuff. And they specifically replied back, we do not or will never moderate the comment section. It is up to YouTube to do that and for people to report what they think is breach of terms of service. So, yeah, the AXP doesn't monitor the comments, which I think is ridiculous. But it's one of those things. You just have to live with it and sacrifice the right things to the gods of YouTube and hope your comments go through.
Well, I mean, I think it's a resource thing. Oh, go ahead.
I just say it's a policy decision that they prefer not to be in the position where they're being accused of hiding good information about God by the theists. Whenever someone puts up, I put up evidence, but the mods delete it immediately. And you just go, we don't delete anything. You can say whatever you want. Have a look at all the people being called pedophiles. If we were deleting things, that wouldn't be there.
Yeah, and
By the way,
it's understandable.
Well, so they do have a filter on it because, I mean, I've looked at my channel and there are ways to kind of make the, filter more restrictive. You could put in keywords, you can prevent links being, posted. So you can make it more strict so that, and I think that's why a lot of the comments get ghosted and sometimes deleted.
It would be interesting if someone could get hold of actually the rules that we have. But they'll never let that out. I mean,
maybe.
They might.
Yeah, it's not impossible. They might put up a community post that says, these are the settings we run. We don't moderate. We just have a set of settings, and these are the reasons for the choices we've made. Links come with extra spam. We don't want that. This is this, and this is that, and maybe they are prepared to explain it because it would be worth doing.
Well, the reason why they wouldn't want to publish the keywords and why Google also doesn't publish them is because then it makes it easier for you to work around.
Yeah, but there might not be any keywords, so they might just be using that stricter. There's a checkbox for a beta thing that causes an increase in strictness.
Well, and I'm not sure. I'll have to check, but they have a really strict filter on other platforms. So if I write Clubhouse or Discord or a lot of those, it'll actually just disappear. And I feel like that's a keyword thing, not like a Google thing.
I'll send them an email in the next couple of days and just see what sort of response I get.
Yeah. I mean, it's really annoying having to sort by newest and have to scroll through comments to get to the comment that you're interested in. So it would be much better if we could all just kind of look at the newest and be able to see all the comments within that thread.
That's a common complaint throughout the whole of YouTube.
Yeah.
Even some of the creators whinge about it. But
I mean,
I'll send an email off to AXP and see if we can get a response.
Oh, and the other comment I want to make was that, the AXP has barely enough resources to put up timestamps, consistently. They're not going to want to spend their resources on, moderating the comments.
Yeah, which is understandable, and their membership has dropped significantly.
Yeah.
But we shall wait and see. I'm popping off to make a tea, so I'll be out for a bit. Muting yourself.
Okay. All right. So she says atheism is a response to the theist claim of God existing due to the harm theism caused. This is why atheists do not. Okay. All right. So we all know this, Kim. So you don't need to tell us this. If in 2050 you ask someone, do you believe in God? Come on, you must know, as it can only be yes. Yeah. So I'm not sure where she's going with this. The God claim is not special. Richard Dawkins was asked if the God claim is not special, and why do some? All right. So this is kind of boring. Okay. So a lot of kind of boring stuff explaining things that we all know. Okay. God belief is not special. So what is she getting to? How can that ever be positive? New atheism is disingenuous. Hitchens was right, and every atheist knows this. To terrify children with the image of hell, to consider women as an inferior question, is that good for the world? No. Human decency is not derived from religion, it precedes it. I'm not sure what she's really trying to get at here. Yes, theism is bad. That's why we have atheists.
Filled with sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last one. How dismal it is to see present-day Americans yearning for the very orthodoxy that their country was founded to escape. Christopher Hitchens. Humans do have emotions. You can quote me on this. I hate Lord Jesus equally as much as I hate Lord Voldemort. The Prophet Muhammad reminds me of the image of Pinocchio. Ridiculous claims can be ridiculed by definition. Thanks for your call. So this is all she kind of ends up with. Doesn't explain why she got into the thread and, made it seem like I was being too antagonistic against theists. I was hoping that she was going to say more at the end, because I had seen the notification that she had responded to my comment, but this is kind of fizzled out. All right.
I'm back. You can stop talking about me.
Okay, so I want to. Did you guys want to say anything more on this, or should we?
No, I think it's too. I did
you
just go
guys
and
hear
test.
that?
I can hear something in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was me. Sorry, go ahead.
Just saying, I did go and test Discord on your on one of your vids, and it didn't get bounced.
Okay, but it will definitely get bounced on the AXP.
Yeah. So who knows whether it's a and look, they may well be prepared to comment on why they ban certain words, and it may be, again, those ones come with a lot of spam and advertising.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is kind of business decision, to make sure that they keep their viewers, I guess.
Oh, just that post you got up by R.D. Wing. Is he the circle and the dot guy?
What is circle and dot guy?
Perfect circle in a theoretical dot.
Yeah.
Just fuckwit.
Is
And
that him?
just orgasms every time. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, this guy doesn't seem to be going into kind of woo, but more of just kind of ignorance, I guess. He somehow thinks that he's found the flaw in Einstein's theory of relativity. The special theory of relativity, not the theory of special relativity.
Well, it was a very special theory.
Yeah, it was a very special.
And RB Win 3 clearly is very special.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It does.
At least in theory.
Which vid's this on?
Sorry, I'll pull up my perfect circle with the dot guy file somewhere later and just double check. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, but yeah, I'll double check.
So for this post, I think here's sort of my kind of understanding of what he's trying to say. I think he's saying that there isn't really time dilation, but you're just like measuring the speed on a slower clock, which doesn't make sense. But I think that's what he's saying, that there isn't really a difference in time. It's just, you're.
No, well,
yeah.
Well, in some ways that's sort of correct, because when I was one of the things that becomes pretty obvious as you're studying physics is that everything depends upon how you look at it. So one way to say time is dilated, another way is to say that space is dilated. So you're traveling through less space, so it appears that you're traveling faster. Or you're measuring something using a different clock. So they're not wrong. They're just, it's just looking at the equation from the left side or looking at it from the right side.
But he's not talking. Definitely, he's not talking about space dilation, and he doesn't seem to be saying time dilation. But the thing is, when he says that one clock is slower than the other, yes, from one inertial reference frame, it'll look like it's slower, right? But that's essentially the theory of relativity.
Yeah, and weirdly, from the other clock's perspective, the first clock is going slow.
Yeah. I mean, from each of their inertial reference frame, the clock is going exactly the correct speed, right? I mean, especially when we're talking about atomic clocks. So he calls this, anyone know what this Galilean transformation equation is?
I think that was the early version. So the Galilean relativity was a form of relativity, or a mathematical description of a sort of relativistic prior to Einstein's work.
But what does it actually? Is it actually explaining relativity?
It was an early approach to that, and then Einstein went further and created special relativity, and then he went further and incorporated that into general relativity.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't spend too much time just trying to figure this out, and obviously I didn't even look up what that was, but it seemed like,
is this on?
Oh, this is on the Christians don't know their God.
Okay.
So AXP seems to be doing a lot of these throwback ones, and people have commented on it even. So, okay.
I think it's a good idea to post the old stuff again.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's great.
It's some of that. There's some great stuff in some of those old vids, and it's increases the content quantity of the channel, and potentially the income of the channel. Yeah, don't see any downsides.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just did a quick lookup of the Galilean transformation. So it's basically like being able to kind of determine your relative speed to another person. So if I'm traveling at 10 miles per hour and another person is traveling in the same direction at 20 miles per hour, there's a 10 miles per hour difference in our relative speed. I think that's what it is. So it doesn't work for relativistic speeds. Okay, and you know better than Einstein because, well, he doesn't. You invert the equations incorrectly. What does that mean? All right. Atheists all say they believe in Einstein's special. Oh, so his point was that, and this is at the beginning, I remember. So he's saying that atheists are believing, because we atheists all believe in Einstein's relativity. They are liars when they say they don't believe in miracles or supernatural events. Because relativity is like a supernatural event, I guess, from his point of view. If scientists are lying about this, what else are they lying about? Makes you wonder. Maybe they know that God really exists, but they're trying to hide it.
Flawless logic.
Okay. Yeah. And okay, so this response was, saying that no, atheism by itself isn't about believing or not believing Einstein's special relativity, obviously. And my comment here is that the only difference between his equation and Einstein's equation is that Einstein's equation has been validated and tested and actually predicts things in real life. So I give some examples of, I mean, the GPS is like the best example for relativity, both for special and general relativity. And he doesn't really respond to my comment that, both clocks are going at the same speed and they're both equally accurate. It's just that from the inertial reference frame, it might be different. I don't know if Sunday is still on, but here's his comment. And if he's wrong about this, what else is he wrong about?
Yeah.
QC, you notice in the equations that he's put up, he's got a first set of equations, and then he's got these are the correct equations for a slower clock. That first one, x dot equals x minus vt. And then in the first equation, you've got it all over the square root of 1 minus, and so on. Essentially, the second set are correct only when v is very, very much smaller than c. So at normal train speeds, for example, the square root of approximately 1 is so close to 1 that it's over the top of 1, and then you don't go back and you don't have any relativistic effects occurring. So it's not, the first ones aren't incorrect. He's just trying to claim they are. And we know they're correct. They're the first sort.
Yeah. Is this correct equation though? Because this isn't the relativity equation. T minus Vx over c squared divided by square root of this. I mean, the square root of this is, that's the 1 minus square root of this is the actual relativity equation.
Yeah, that's the time dilation factor.
Right. But
so as you
why does he have this dividing into this?
Hang on, let me think. Time times voltage times displacement. Then you subtract time. Yes. Vx over c squared. Second. There's an error in there because there's a meters per second, and c is in meters per second squared. There's a error in that.
I would think instead of divided by, it's probably minus, right?
No. It's the first part all over the second part.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah, it wouldn't be minus.
Yeah, you just divide through by that time dilation or the effect, which is 0, which is approximately equal to 1 when velocity is very much smaller than the speed of light.
Yeah. Basically, this becomes 1. I mean, it's 1 at speeds. And this is also, it becomes just t at low speeds. So t over 1. Okay. Let's see, where were we? Okay. Oh, because I think, what is his name? I can't remember. Satichek. Atheists also, I'm pretty sure majority of atheists have never heard about special theory of relativity. And I'm pretty sure they never heard about general theory of relativity either. So I'm expecting this Ron guy to release special theory of special relativity and general theory of general relativity. That'd be fun. I've never seen Einstein's theory get so twisted.
And the really fun, strange thing for me is this gobbledygook doesn't even get you to a god, which is
No, all it gets you is relativity is weird, therefore God.
No. Exactly. That's not what he's getting at. Because at the beginning, what he said was that, this is obviously the scientists, conspiring to hide this. And if they're conspiring to do that, what else are they conspiring to hide from us? Like, I guess, their proof of God.
Right. Since
I think that's what he was getting at.
Since I ate steak on Friday, therefore I must always be eating steak. This idea that
ultimately he's saying that you can't trust science, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Come back when you pass GCSE. GCSE is in UK? Or is this like a Europe thing or Australian thing?
It rings a bell, but mine's not working properly.
Okay. All right. So Diogenes said, okay, reference frames they'll get you every time. So I go into a little bit of this. And so I thought, based on what he's saying, I thought maybe he was a flat earther.
Well, Chris Maisie is. So, Massey.
I wonder, do we know if NEPy is a flat earther or not? Because I don't think that topic ever comes up.
Someone else would have to ask him the question. He won't respond to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Okay. He is.
He's biblically flat earth as opposed to getting into any part of it. But yes, I suspect he knows he doesn't have a good argument there to stand on, so he stays away from it.
Oh, actually, I recall, I think it's him, but they were saying that the Bible knew that it was a globe before, scientists did. So I think he's actually not a flat earther.
Yeah, you're right. But he warps what the Bible says there to say that the circle equals globe, but also tries to walk the path that the Earth is set on its foundations. Let's just ignore that bit.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we're talking about. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We're talking about a man who believes that literally hell is in the center of the earth and volcanoes happen because God needs more room for sinners. I mean, nothing. Yeah. He's there's no rhyme or reason to NEPy. And I think the reason he comes onto YouTube is because no one retweets on Twitter. No one retweets him. No one talks to him.
Yep.
He gets feedback here, whereas there he doesn't.
Yeah, I looked at his Twitter feed, and yeah, no one is responding to him.
And he did have a few followers, but they were all using the names of his other YouTube sock puppet accounts, but they've all been removed. Just
So
has anyone? Oh, sorry. Has
no, go ahead.
anyone noticed that strange woman, HLN 2001? She comes in saying, she's the one I see. I keep saying is racist because Australian Aboriginal. Yeah, I think that one is just rage baiting.
Why do you say it's a she? Do you know?
She's referred to herself as a woman.
Okay.
Somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, about on the about page of her thing is woman equals born female. So
I think that might be just kind of an anti-trans thing, not necessarily that they are a woman.
Yeah, could be, but I tend to pretty much think it is a female, whatever that means. But yeah, she's come up with the weird thing of the sun is God. Then she went into a rant about Gnosticism, and now I don't know what she's going on about, but I just think she's after. Yeah, she just wants rage responses. But I tend to ignore her. But there's another one. Who is it? KM EST 46s. Yeah. He's only just started, but he gives me who was that guy with autism bug?
Nathaniel
Yates. Yeah, Elderwood,
Yates.
Yeah, Yates.
That's right. There's one of them's a troll and the other one's the autism.
Yes.
So I think Elderwood's the troll and Yates is the autism.
Yeah, Kismet gives me the same vibe as Paul Nathaniel Yates. But we'll wait and see. I've got a little notes here of up and coming trolls. So it's one of those things. I just like to keep notes because you use their words against them when they make a contrary statement. That was me finished.
So I posted a link on both the private chat and in the regular chat. So have you guys watched any of the Dan McClellan? Looked at his channel? He does a lot of biblical stuff. I mean, I find it very, very informative, the kind of stuff he talks about, because he's a biblical scholar. So he will
definitely check him out.
Yeah, definitely do. But there was a video, and maybe if I can do this.
Sorry, what did you say his name was, QC?
Here, Dan McClellan.
Yeah.
So this was a video he did talking about whether Isaiah 40:22 says Earth is a sphere or a circle, because a lot of the theist troll, they go on about how this is a verse that they use when they say that the Bible knew that it was a globe. Have you guys ever also seen MC Toon? He's like a flat Earth debunker, but he's he's a Christian. So I think in this situation, let's see if this works.
God sits high above the round ball of Earth.
All right, let's see it. Where is this?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Isaiah 40:22. God sits high above the round ball of earth.
So this translation comes from the Message Bible, which is more of a paraphrase than a translation anyway. But the fact that translators chose to render the text this way is not evidence that that's what this word actually means. It's just evidence that some translators wanted to render it that way. And the fact that some translators are going to manipulate the text to serve certain apologetic interests, such as suggesting that this knowledge predated scientific understanding, that's not really a surprise.
Or
Yeah, so you guys can see the rest of it, but it's always very informative, the videos that he makes on the biblical stuff.
I just posted a link to Metatron,
Oh,
his channel, this guy's channel. He's really good. He's a linguist, and he actually goes through. He can read, Hebrew and all that sort of wonderful stuff, Greek and Latin, but he'll actually go through and critically analyze bits of the Bible. I don't even know whether he's a Christian or not, but he doesn't let that interfere with his scholarly work. He's a very interesting guy. Plus, he does a lot of stuff with armor and swords and all that nice stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's another channel well worth. And that question I keep asking NEPy about how many Roman legionaries went to arrest Christ in the garden. If you look at the records at the time, it was an entire cohort. So we're talking about 400 to 500 people went to arrest Jesus. So, yeah, they considered him a definite radical rabble rouser, because you don't send a whole cohort out to arrest someone who's just being peaceful.
Well, at least that's what the story is, right?
Yeah, that's what the story is. But yeah.
As for Isaiah 40:22, I've got a standard comment that I've posted on a number of occasions that discuss that particular thing. I'll just read it out quite quickly. So this is what I sort of normally say. Isaiah 22, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. The biblical Hebrew word used in Isaiah 40 is chug, meaning circle, horizon, circuit, and vault of the heavens. Notice it does not mean sphere. It was translated into Greek at the time with the word gyros, meaning circle or ring, also not a word for a sphere. In Isaiah 22, the word kadua is used, meaning circle or ball. That is, there was definitely an appropriate word at the time for sphere, but this wasn't the one used for circle of the earth in Isaiah 40. So therefore, if the Bible is inspired by an omnipotent being, then the person who wrote Isaiah should not have been confused about which word to use to accurately describe reality. So yes, it does mean circle, but essentially it means the sort of limit of what you can see, or the horizon, or the edge of where you are, or a ring around you. It does not mean ball.
Well, you guys remember what Kentucky Brad said, right? Basically, circle or round could mean, I think he was saying round could mean when you look at a sphere, it looks round. So he kept on insisting that that word can mean both. And, I did point out that there is, he was actually saying that the word for sphere didn't come about until like very recently. And then
which is bullshit, because I just showed in Isaiah 22, there is a word for ball / sphere there. So it's in the same, so in the same book of the Bible, written by the same author. So at the time the word that's used as circle of the earth was written, there was an appropriate word, and it wasn't the one used in circle of the earth. So it wasn't
Yeah,
chug, it was Kajua.
Yeah, but that verse is used by flat earthers to say that, the Bible says Earth is flat, and by, other theists to say that the Bible knew that the Earth was a globe. So it's being used both ways.
Yeah, it's a problem because there's no way an invested fundie is ever going to admit that circle doesn't mean, circle of the Earth doesn't mean that it's implied that it's a sphere, unless of course they're a flat earther, and then they'll use that as proof that the Earth can't be a globe.
Oh, so it looks like there's been some activity on this thread, because he was responding, talking about if there's a slower clock, you will get a faster speed. But I kept on telling him both clocks are going at the same speed.
No, it's true. If there's a slower clock, you get a faster speed. You don't measure a faster speed. So if, for example, you jumped in a spaceship and accelerated it up to, say, 99.9% of the speed of light and zoomed off to Alpha Centauri, it would appear that your speed was way beyond the speed of light, because from the person in that spaceship, it might have only taken you a few weeks to get to Alpha Centauri, but it's 4.5 light years away. Back on Earth, everyone waited 4.5 years for you to get to Alpha Centauri, and then waited another 4.5 years for you to get home to tell you about the trip. But from the person in the spaceship, it might have only been gone a month or two.
And during that time, the clock was going at the, correct rate, at least from within that.
The clock is going at the speed it's going. So you can either say that the clock from the perspective of the people inside the spaceship has slowed down, but they can't tell that because they've slowed at the same amount that the clock has slowed. Or you could argue that space dilation has meant that the distance they had to travel was less, because that's another way of looking at something. As you approach the speed of light, things flatten in the direction towards you. So a photon approaching the Earth is actually approaching a flat disk. It has no thickness. That being said, from a photon's perspective, it lives for a total existence of 0 time. It's emitted and absorbed in the same place it was emitted from, even if it's been traveling for 13 billion years. When it hits our sensor on Earth that measures it, that occurred at exactly the same moment as it was emitted. It's weird, but it seems like magic to people who don't understand it.
All physics.
All right.
Is magic
Obviously,
to me.
it's for this guy. Apparently, it does seem like, or he actually calls it magic. The relativity. So, and atheists or people who believe in relativity are believing in miracles, according to him. All right. So I'm going to actually. We are at the 90-minute mark. And did you guys have something you want to add?
No, this has been great. Yeah, what I think would be nice if the regulars here send you an email and just with topics they'd like to bring up, or certain particular trolls that they've noticed, or strange arguments that they've gotten into, like. I made the mistake of asking an American, "Are you taking the piss?" And it turned into about 200 comments of, "No, I'm not saying, are you peeing on something? It's, yeah, that was a weird one."
Yeah, actually, that was going to be my suggestion as well for all you guys. If you do have topics, go ahead and send me a quick email for next week.
No, your blood's worth bottling, mate. You're doing a good job.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
all right.
This is good stuff, man.
Say again?
I said, this is good stuff, man. I really appreciate you.
Oh, great. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll end it here. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And we will all see you guys next week, or hopefully everyone. All right. See you guys.
Have a good week, everyone. Be well.
Be safe.